On to our main event of the evening, match 30. Our headliner, we have Mike Turpin out of Team Balance Baltimore taking on Kenneth Brown, owner of Second Gear BJJ.
And this is Mike Turpin walking out from Team Balance Baltimore. Pretty prolific competitor.
Yeah, competes all the time.
Same to be said about this gentleman, Kenneth Brown from Second Gear BJJ.
Yeah, Kenneth Brown competes on everything all the time.
And has for 10-ish plus
years.
At
least 10 years. You know, just both guys have just been in. If there is a tournament at heavyweight, it is not uncommon to see both of these guys in it. I'm not sure if they've had a match before, but this is a very, very exciting main event match to have.
I don't remember seeing them have a match before.
Mike's a newer black belt.
Yeah, he is. I've actually been training as long as Turpin has. So he's just got his black belt recently. And I don't believe they've ever won against each other before.
Used to train with Mike a lot back in the day. Kind of immediately pulls into the half guard here. Mike did a nice job of trying to pressure it down.
And Kenneth Brown's kind of known for his half guard. He plays a low half guard. He plays a really good deep half with deep half sweeps. And he kind of plays that lower game.
That is what he is known for locally, and that's what he has beaten a lot of guys from. He will sort of lull you into a false sense of security playing through his half guard, only to then just have some phenomenal half guard work take you over or submit you from, those transitions from the half guard. Yeah,
he has some pretty lanky legs. So he can kind of engage those legs and then keep you at a range where it's very hard for you to get almost anything kind of working, but at the same time, he's willing to then go, like in this position right here, he's willing to go into a full guard, and he understands how to hold that position, how to attack from that position.
Yeah, he's working to the triangle here. And now we're going to have another angle here. Ken still has Mike in the triangle here, but he can't quite make the angle that he needs. Mike is a powerhouse of a guy, so very, very hard to control.
And Mike also has his elbow in. He has his hand in under his neck and his elbow in kind of towards the hip crease. That allows a lot more space for him to breathe, and he can kind of survive that position.
Yep. They got a little bit cut off there. That was a little bit longer of a sequence in the arena. So we're going to move back into the center of the mat here. We're going to restart. Mike has a nice underhook on the leg. Driving through here. Trying to get past the guard of Ken Brown. Using that overhand position on the leg to try to turn the knee. And Ken's just going to get his hip up there, roll through, and try to come back into the guard that he is so well known for. Mike starts to topside toe hold there for a second to force Ken to bring his leg back inside. And then we're going to get backs, hips inside. Ken is going to throw another triangle attempt there on Mike as Mike leans heavy in, tries to get past Ken Brown. And Ken is going to grab another Kimura there off of the pass attempt from Turpin.
And Turpin's like trying to toe hold him. He grabbed the one foot on the bottom. Yep. It could also just keep him from kind of elevating very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it blocks a lot of stuff here, and Mike is known for really being an unorthodox guy. More half guard work here from Ken. Moving back into the butterfly guard.
Turpin's doing a really good job stapling that the lower leg so that even if when he does get through, that he can't kind of invert up and grab anything from that position.
And Ken kind of gets out of that and puts him back just regular into the half guard. And that is really what Ken Brown is known for, is just a prolific half guard player, and there's not really a response to anything in the half guard that he has not seen, or we've not seen him. I've had the pleasure of commentating a couple of his matches over the years. Known for his half guard, known for having a really tricky half guard to deal with. Mike's trying to flatten out, and then Ken pushes him away and just pulls him right back into the half guard here.
I was wondering if Turpin was trying that dog bar on that bottom leg for a second, just to either elicit a reaction or try to get the sub.
Yeah. I mean, Turpin is a guy that's known locally just as an insane squeeze, like a really special squeeze, but also known to hit just unorthodox subs. He's like a real submission hunter, but will play in interesting spaces. Can try to take the back there on Turpin. Puts Turpin there down on the bottom. Mike's trying to elevate out.
Yeah, though Turpin has underhook on the leg, and he does have his legs around that leg. So he's kind of controlling him. He's not allowing him to come over.
And then he drops that and kind of immediately pops into the mount there. Gets a nice still got a low mount on Turpin. But at the heavyweight matches, you tend to see guys play a lower mount because they want to be more over the hips. Whereas at the higher weights, you see guys tend to play more in the chest.
He does a lower mount, and he crosses his legs below his butt.
Because it really stops a lot of like the kipping escapes, the push-off escapes, because you can't get good leverage to get him moving. Again, Ken Brown on top of you is like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. And he's trying to get the head and arm together, probably trying to grab that to work his way towards the back, though Mike is not allowing him to have that.
Yeah, Mike's just staying active there and keep staying active. He keeps pushing and sort of forcing Ken to readjust and taking a little bit of ground back the entire time as he does. Ken's sort of looking for the back here.
But Mike's trying to maybe go into the far side leg. I saw him kind of reach under that far side leg and grab it.
And Ken sees it and just reestablishes side control there, puts heavy pressure on Mike there on the bottom. That crossfit comes over and then looks to come back into mount again. Again, Ken is very much a traditional position over submission guy.
He's also not really using like a full cross face. He's more using a shoulder to kind of on his neck and his face, as opposed to like using your arm.
Yeah, which is more so a lot of the old guys. Yeah. Older school guys will teach because it tends to force more of the back exposure.
Yeah.
Which is, again, that positional dominance, whereas the crossface just with the arm will keep guys nice and flat if you want to work for topside subs. Ken, nice staple on the topside leg, immediately comes back through.
I was wondering if he was going to go for the ninja roll right there.
Not really something I think that Ken Brown would elect to do in most instances. Mike gets the lockdown there to really prevent Ken from being able to
push forward and
keep passing. Ken's going to use his other foot here. We have a great camera angle to see, Ken reinforcing underneath the calf of Mike Turpin to push away to try to get out of this.
Ken is doing a good job keeping him flat-backed. Though Turpin gets up, he gets some height, gets that underhook on that one side. He still has a lockdown or something on the far leg.
Turpin's looking for an arm crush here. Potentially looking for a violent arm lock or an armbar sweep over. And again, this is what I was talking about earlier, where Mike is just incredibly strong. So it's really impressive to me to see Ken Brown be able to just turn his arm down, pull back in, and get out of that.
I think both gentlemen understand positioning. They understand how to get in positioning, how to get out of positioning, and where and when to use that positioning.
A little bit of a blip in the action here. We have Ken Brown in mount.
It's like a side mount.
Mount here. And Mike's able to recover the half guard there. And then Ken's going to try to jump over, but Mike does a nice job of following him and tracking him with the hooks, trapping Ken Brown back into the half guard. Ken's going to step his leg out. And then he really wants to slide up there, which is why he keeps putting his foot underneath on Mike. I think he's very happy to play out of the half guard here and force Mike down.
Yeah.
Versus in side control where Mike can really just explosively push him off and enter into stuff. The half guard is just going to stifle a lot of what Turpin wants to do on the bottom. It's going to limit his options in a way that I think works really well with Ken's game.
I think Ken also has enough length that it doesn't really bother him to play half guard, because his body is long enough that he can play in that half guard and still have enough shoulder and arm movement.
He still has the mobility there, and he's not really trapped. His hips aren't trapped down as low as a lot of guys are traditionally.
Yeah.
With Mike Turpin looking for a rubber guard here, potentially looking for a gogoplata and omoplata there, but Ken is just going to continue to pressure through and not let Mike get his leg all the way up.
Ken has a body lock, though he lets the body lock go to kind of maintain top position. He does have that hook in, that arm hook in, though Turpin is trying to get the height in that position as Ken tries to grab almost a crucifix across the shoulders. And he uses that to go to the back, though he's riding high. So
yeah, potentially going to go for that far side armbar or the power Kimura from the Choi bar position. But Mike is actually in the half guard here, so it makes it really hard for Ken to put enough pressure into that arm to be able to lever it out. Mike's going to look for a toe hold here. It's a really unorthodox toe hold.
Yeah, across his head.
Yeah, you really do that when someone is triangled over top of you. It's very hard to get. But again, it does force Ken to move his leg a little bit, come back in front, in the front side here. Ken pushing on Turpin's face a little bit there as Turpin sort of continues to try to drive through and get past that knee shield.
He's going to kind of crank that leg up.
Yeah, we saw him do that earlier in the match. I was curious if he was going to try to enter later into a leg lock there, but Ken just gets up. He just re-inverts, rolls back through, and ends back up in the half guard again.
And Mike does train with some older school jiu-jitsu people that do more of a catch wrestling style, so there are certain movements that are a little more...
common for those folks.
Yeah, common for those folks, as opposed to your, competitive jiu-jitsu folks. There was a break in action. Now we find Ken Brown on the back of Turpin going out of bounds. Though Turpin is getting height, and as they roll out, he's trying to dig that hand in there. I believe this is the end in overtime.
I'm not certain. We had a break in action here.
Yeah, we had
a
break in action.
What's going on? Mike gets out. Yeah, we've come into the overtime now.
Yeah, I believe we've moved into the overtime period.
And so Ken had the attack first, and now we're going to get Mike on Ken's back here as the rebuttal for the overtime. So the match, I think majority of the match was done at that point. We just went into time. And then Mike again speaks to the squeeze that Mike has. Not a guy that I really want on my back to be kind of put on my back in an overtime position.
No, not at all. And he is fighting the hands.
Yeah.
We can't see it very well, but he's holding the chin to kind of hold the head back.
Mm-hmm. Ken's trying to fight the feet out and try to turn, but Mike is just cranking on the face of Ken Brown, trying to trap the arm there with the leg. And he gets it.
He does get the arm down. I think
he has the choke in here. It's really hard to see from our angle.
It's like a 10-year-old choke?
7-year-old choke, but no, it's slightly different than that. Still looking. Mike's got a really nice bite in here. Well, he had a nice bite there for 1 second. He's going to the body triangle here to lever down. And he's going to go hand over hand here on the choke.
For a short choke.
Yep, and he gets the tap.
And with the short choke, he gets the win.
Mike Turpin takes the win in overtime here to cap off Liquid Swords 4.
First off, congratulations. What's your name? Where do you train?
Mike Turpin, Underground Grappling, Team Balance. Mike Atkin, Kevin Bachman, Brian Shealy. Let's go!
Talk us through the match. It was a long one.
Hey man, he was tough to get by. I felt comfortable with submission defense. I was there longer than I wanted to be. At times I thought I was gonna lose, but I just did my thing, and I came out on top. I could have lost, but I won.
How was your overall experience?
Dude, I love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Is there anybody else you want to thank?
My dad, my girlfriend, every motherfucker in here. Let's go.
So one more thing.